Um, Good morning. Welcome to day 14. Our topic today is embrace the darkness. So, I had a totally different topic in mind for today, but it's so dark, which obviously I've been out, it's 8:10, I'm out here at the same time I was yesterday, but it feels darker to me. I don't know if you feel like it looks darker. Let me know in the comments. Now, of course, we are heading towards the shortest day of the year, so I know that every day the sun rises a little bit later. So it makes perfect sense that it would be darker today than it was when we started 14 days ago. But I'm completely amazed at how much darker it is today compared to yesterday. Do you notice a difference? Maybe I'm going completely crazy, but I swear yesterday, did I just look like I had ears? It's the bits on my gloves. They can go over your fingers. I might loop them back, because otherwise they're just flapping like this. Or can be used for ears. Lottie and I the other day were talking about, on one of these lives, we're talking about how it's not really fair that adults don't really get clothes with ears, whereas kids get the cutest clothes with ears. Maybe this is my version of it. Anyway, sorry, I think the darkness is making me go a little bit crazy. Anyway, so I feel like it's a lot darker today. And I think in the past, I was always really sad about these days, but I think there's a real beauty to it. And I think it's nature's way of telling us to slow down and just be. So anyway, my name is Elisabeth from the Joyful Garden, and we are spending 10 minutes every day in the run-up to Christmas in the garden. And I'm live on Instagram every day at 8:10. Sometimes I have a special guest star. Well, there are 3 potential guest stars who sometimes make an appearance. And we're just here to... Oh, I can hear the robin. Bobby Robin, he was our first ever guest star. He even appeared in the very first video, do you remember? I haven't looked out for him as much recently. He's definitely popped in and out. But I just heard his lovely little cheep. But I can't see him right now. So he's here. Anyway. Yes. So because it's just getting darker, I think there's a lot of beauty in just accepting it and creating a really lovely environment within that. And I think we're really blessed to have these defined seasons. I think there's so much beauty to them. And I think these kind of cold, chilly December days in the run-up to Christmas are just so beautiful. And yesterday's frost is sadly gone. But even so, getting to wrap up warm, getting to have our cups of tea, I didn't used to appreciate how lovely it is to get cozy and really kind of lean into that. One year I got to go to New Zealand at Christmas, and being in the southern hemisphere, it's their summertime. And it was beautiful, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't this like crisp, cold, cozy weather. It was really warm, and we went to the beach and we had a lot of fun. It was brilliant. But it made me really appreciate what we have here in the Northern Hemisphere, that this beautiful celebration of Christmas falls right in our darkest, kind of gloomiest days, but also maybe our most introspective days, and those days when you really get to examine what is meaningful to you and really think about that, and how beautiful are, the sparkly lights in those darker days, and the candles that you can light and having those on in the darker days. And I don't know about you, but I find myself getting tired so much earlier than in the summer. Quite often it'll be kind of 4 o'clock and I'll feel like it's 7. And I used to fight that. I used to think, oh no, I have to be just as productive in winter time as I do in summer. And now I think, maybe I don't. And what I think is really interesting is that lots of animals, when we think they hibernate and they sleep completely throughout the whole winter, what they actually do is they just slow down, and they do less. And I think there's something beautiful in that, and I think there's a lot for us to learn in that, to think about, slowing everything down as much as you can, and just letting your days unfold in a slower sort of rhythm. Archie's back on the compost bags. He's currently just sniffing them. Don't know why he loves being on there so much. Oh, he's off again. Yes, so, having those sparkly, twinkly lights. And I talked about my love for the sparkly, twinkly lights in my Calm Christmas workshop the other day. I have this wheel of Christmas in my Calm Christmas workbook. And there are different sections for it, and you can kind of it helps you figure out which part of Christmas is really meaningful to you and which ones aren't. And I discovered that, I always knew it, but Christmas decorations are really important to me. I really love them. You won't be surprised, because you can see my outdoor Christmas tree behind me, but the inside is, just as decorated, if not more so. So the decorations mean a lot to me, and I think there's just such beauty in those little lights against the darkness of this time of year, and the loveliness of making yourself a lovely cup of tea and putting on the fire, or even just a YouTube video of a fire. Before we had an open fire, that's what I used to do. And getting cozy under a blanket and watching some silly TV or reading a book together. I just think there's some really lovely kind of introspectiveness to this time of year, and a really lovely opportunity to enjoy the cozy, and not to think, it's so tempting to think, here in the UK our weather is so terrible. Our days are shorter, it can rain, but really, we're so lucky. I just think getting to have Christmas in this dark season, getting to have a reason to celebrate, getting to have a reason to gather in what is quite a dark season, I just think it's such an uplifting thing. The only thing I would change is that apparently traditionally Christmas decorations were kept up until the middle of February. And I think that's genius, and I think we should all do that. I think keeping the Christmas decorations up for longer because really it's still dark for a lot of January and for a lot of February. So keeping them until it kind of feels like spring is starting to happen, I think would just be really lovely. Let me know in the comments below. Are you with me? Would you keep your Christmas decorations up? Obviously, the tree might not last that long, but certainly the fairy lights and things like that, I think they should be kept for longer, personally. Anyway, I mentioned my Calm Christmas workbook. If you are interested in that, and I made a whole YouTube video about kind of talking people through it. It's on my YouTube channel. If you search up Calm Christmas Challenge on Google, it'll pop up. And there's a video specifically called Calm Christmas Challenge, the Calm Christmas Handbook. So that'll talk you through all of that. And you can download it from my website, or you can leave me a little book emoji underneath and I will send you the link to that. And just before we wrap up, have you noticed one hand has nail varnish on it and one hand doesn't? The joys of DIY manicures. Just before you go, I wanted to give you my plant recommendation for the day. And I will walk round with you to show you what it is that I would recommend for the day. Well, my plant recommendation for the day. It is this. Bog standard ivy. It's not an exciting plant. Lots of people don't really value it. But I think it's for your wall. It will give you colour all year round. Here's another one there. I just think it gives you really lovely texture and a really lovely backdrop. I think I lost you. I don't know when I lost you. But anyway, I was just going to say that I think ivy is just a brilliant plant. It's such a great backdrop to all these other plants. And what I often do is, say on this arch here, I am growing a rose, Wallerton Old Hall, which will be beautiful in a few years' time. But obviously in winter time, not much to look at. So I've started a little ivy at the bottom of it that is going to come up and give me interest and structure in winter time, and be a lovely background for the rose to really thrive against. And Archie's excited about that too. Now, I know some people are worried about ivy because it can go into the cracks of walls, but it's totally fine on fences. It is, isn't it, Archie? You want to play. Totally fine on fences, totally fine on arches, and totally fine on walls, so long as they don't have cracks in them. It's cracked walls that you do have to be a little bit careful of. But I think ivy is a totally underrated plant, and I would highly, highly recommend it. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on ivy. And thank you for joining me, and I will see you tomorrow, 8:10 for day 15. Amazing. Bye.